Hello, I'm Aimee Esther, and I have PCOS polycystic ovarian syndrome as well as several other chronic illnesses. And yet I have this sweet baby sitting in my arms right now, 1 week old little baby boy and an almost 2-year-old daughter. And sorry if you hear little gruntings, but I don't really have a choice but to film this video with him with me in my arms. And even though I have PCOS, I was able to get pregnant, and I have my 2 sweet rainbow babies with me today. And I wanted to share my story of PCOS. I share my story on YouTube. I have a vlog and share about my life with PCOS as well as several other chronic illnesses, including POTS, Hashimoto's disease, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, IBS, chronic migraines. I have a lot of chronic issues going on, including PCOS. And my PCOS story might be a little bit different. I did not have the typical symptoms of PCOS. I didn't have the excessive acne or hair growth or difficulty losing weight. I had a little bit of, I have a little bit of difficulty losing weight, but I was never overweight or obese, and I never dealt with that. So I didn't ever even consider myself to have PCOS. I also thought I had regular periods. However, I did not. My periods were really long, and my doctor said that's still considered irregular if they are extra long, even if they come around the same time. So to get my diagnosis, like I said, I went my whole life not knowing. So I had really, really painful periods. And I found out that I had endometriosis. The only way to know for sure if you have endometriosis is to get surgery. And so my doctor said, most likely you have endometriosis, but there's no point in getting surgery now because it will just come back. And so I dealt with extremely painful periods every month since I was, 15 and started my period. And when I decided to have kids, I said, okay, we are going to get my endometriosis removed. And I had that removed. They also found ovarian cysts, some that had ruptured, some that were still there. They removed those. I didn't think anything of that until the next month came and my period came, and I was so excited to have a period, which sounded crazy because I had hated my period for so long, but I was really excited to have a period after getting my endometriosis removed. And my period came and it was extremely painful, just like I had before, except instead of being in one place, or instead of being all over, it was just in one place on one side. So I went to the doctor thinking there was a problem with my surgery, and he said, nope, you just ruptured another ovarian cyst. And we concluded that I probably was rupturing ovarian cysts almost every month, but because I also had endometriosis, they were kind of being covered up by my endometriosis pain. And so I was in so much pain every single month after my endometriosis surgery, and it would just switch sides. It would be on my left side, then the next month it would be on my right side. And I just kept rupturing these cysts. And when he did that ultrasound to see that, he also saw that I had polycystic ovaries, which is different than having cysts on your ovaries. It sounds like it is, but what he told me is that it's follicles. When you have polycystic ovaries, it's follicles all over your ovaries, and then sometimes those turn into cysts. Mine did. Every single month would turn into a cyst and then rupture. And I went to a reproductive specialist, and he told me he thought that instead of ovulating, I developed a cyst and then it would rupture. And so my body was trying to ovulate, but it just couldn't quite do it and created cysts instead. So that is how I got my diagnosis. Is I had technically irregular periods because my periods were my cycles were really long, and I had a hormone imbalance. When they tested my hormones, I had a hormone imbalance, and I had polycystic ovaries. So because of those 3 things, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, even though I don't fit the normal criteria, the normal symptoms. I don't have those, but I do still have PCOS. for me, the most frustrating part about this journey was the unknown, because I thought that I was ovulating. I thought that I was able to get pregnant easily after I got that surgery, and I was not, and it was really frustrating. I also suffered multiple miscarriages, and that was so hard for me. I would have rather have never gotten pregnant at all than had to have suffered multiple miscarriages, and it was really hard and frustrating time for me, but we got through it, and I have my cute rainbow babies here with me now. So the first time I got pregnant, I did unfortunately lose that baby in a miscarriage, but I went on a really strict diet for some of the stomach issues that I had. And it was a low FODMAP and paleo diet. If you don't know what that is, paleo is no grains, no dairy, no legumes. Low FODMAP is cutting out highly fermentable foods such as yogurt, broccoli, cauliflower, a lot of fruits. So as you can tell, I wasn't eating a lot. I didn't have a very big, and very many things I could eat on this diet. I called it my chicken and squash diet because I could hardly eat anything. I did that for 3 months, and during those 3 months, I stopped rupturing cysts, and I believe that I was ovulating those months. On the 3rd month, I got pregnant. Unfortunately, we did lose that baby in a miscarriage, but that diet, being on a paleo type diet, has seemed to help me get pregnant every time. The next time I got pregnant, my doctor put me on Clomid. We had tried for 1.5 years at that point. And so he put me on a drug called Clomid. I got pregnant on that drug. And then the 3rd time I got pregnant was right after I stopped breastfeeding my first child. And it was where my doctor said my body was just had a huge hormone shift when I stopped breastfeeding, and it triggered my body into ovulating. Unfortunately, we did lose that baby as a miscarriage as well. And a few months later, I was not hopeful we'd get pregnant again. And I went on a diet called the AIP paleo diet, which is made for people with autoimmune diseases because I have Hashimoto's disease. And I thought that that was contributing to my miscarriages. And on that diet, I got pregnant, found out Christmas morning that I was pregnant with the sweet baby boy that's in my arms today. And he is 1 week old right now. So I think paleo diet, eating a healthy diet, exercising is what helped me the most. And I did use drugs for one of my pregnancies. So I definitely believe in using the medicine that's available as well as trying the natural things. So I'd say my best advice for anyone trying to conceive is talk to your doctor, because they can help you. They want to help you. Especially if you've been diagnosed with PCOS, there are things they can do. People who don't have a diagnosis, they're just struggling to get pregnant, usually have to wait a lot longer to get help from their doctor. But if you have a diagnosis, they can help you right away. You can get on things like Clomid or Mira right away if that's something you choose to do. If you choose to do it naturally, I say try some of the different diets that people have found help them. I personally, like I said, paleo diet has helped me. Some people will do really well on a keto diet, which is similar to paleo. But find something that has worked for someone else and just try it. And my biggest advice is to stop stressing. And I know that's so hard, but when I got pregnant with this sweet baby boy right here, I had actually moved on. I had decided that, you know what, this isn't gonna happen for me, or if it is, I don't want to be stressed about it. So my husband and I decided to move on, and we went down a different path, and we started getting our foster care license and decided we're gonna do foster care and possibly adopt. And if it happens, oh, baby boy's crying here. If it happens, it happens. If not, no big deal. We have another plan. And so for me, having that plan B reduced the stress, and I do feel like that helped me get pregnant this last time because I wasn't so stressed out. So that would be my advice for you, is eat healthy, talk to your doctor, and minimize stress about getting pregnant as much as possible. The Mira Fertility Tracker, I think, can really help you get pregnant if you have PCOS, because when you have PCOS, your hormones are all messed up. So one, normal ovulation tests sometimes don't work for us. We can get false positives. because our bodies are just off balance. And so we think we're ovulating and we're really not. The Mira Fertility Tracker can help to personalize to your body. What are your levels when you're ovulating? When you don't have regular periods, it's really hard to tell when you're ovulating. And so you need to take ovulation tests. I took so many ovulation tests. I tried all of the super cheap ones that you get in a pack of 50 from Amazon, and they're so hard to tell whether you're ovulating or not, because it's not just is there a line or not, it's how dark is the line, and it's so hard to tell. And I always would think that it was positive when it wasn't, or I think it's negative when it was positive. It was just so hard to tell. So knowing your exact levels, having something that can learn a little bit more about you and personalize to you can really help you get pregnant. And my heart goes out to anyone who is struggling with infertility right now. I know it is one of the hardest trials that we as women and men too have been given on this earth. It is so hard to deal with, and it is so hard when you see your friends and family have their little babies and you just want one so bad. So I will pray for you. I hope that this video helped you and gave you some inspiration that it can happen for you and that you can get there. So sending some baby dust to you right now, and I hope that you'll get pregnant as soon as possible.